Deloitte is a company like people really get crazy in their college to get a placement at that company, and you have left that.
When I left Deloitte, I did not have any other offer in my hand. So I had just left it.
What happened? You have mentioned the story of you have submitted a video that is seen by your ex-boss.
So one fine day, I was just called to the CEO's cabin. I thought they're removing me.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in the marketing. There is UGC, there is affiliate marketing, there is influencer marketing, there is performance marketing, and so on.
Got it. So these channels which you're mentioning are essentially all GTM channels.
Just for the audience, like there is a referral marketing and there is a affiliate marketing. Are they the same or different?
No.
From the last 6-7 years, I have worked with like top creators out there.
I was working with clients like Red Bull, Nestle.
I mean, you have mentioned a very great point. When you are young, you have a great ambition to do something.
I think every experience has led me to do something. If you're speaking to 40 people in a day and 35 of them are abusing you, and 5 of them are like, okay, dekhenge, ye karenge, I feel like I would not have changed any part of it. So yeah, that's been the journey.
Welcome to Beyond the Script, Rayyan.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting.
Before we start this podcast and all, I really want to know personally because I'm into the creator space. Okay, from the last 6-7 years, I have worked with like top creators out there. So you are on the operational level of this creator space, but everyone knows that like there's a lot of people out there into the space who are doing some kind of work into the operator layer. I just want to know the story behind Rayyan, not the creator operator Rayyan, but Rayyan, let's say, from where he have came out, how he have built his journey in creator space and all.
Right. First of all, thank you again for having me here. I have seen the kind of work that you've done with your startup, with your team. And I think it's a great opportunity for us to have an interaction. I think even before this, when we were having a conversation while we were having lunch, I got to understand so many things with your experiences that maybe I can inculcate in what I do. To speak about myself, yes, I think like you have mentioned, I am from Bangalore. My work streams are essentially into creator partnerships, brand marketing, brand partnerships. I started working when I was 19. My first full-time job was with Deloitte, offices of the US. So it's very unrelated to what I do right now, but I think it helped me set a certain foundation on how I approach my work streams in general. So my bachelor's and my master's have primarily been with marketing, with business, and within international business. How do we manage growth, brand, marketing? How do we create intersections between? But the fact that when I graduated was when COVID was also at peak.
Yeah, from where you have graduated?
So I graduated from Bangalore Residency College.
Okay.
My bachelor's was done here, and I got into Deloitte via campus placements.
Got it.
So before Deloitte, I was interning in a marketing agency. I started that when I was 19. Then I think Deloitte I started just when I was 19, 20. That was my first full-time role, but it was all into finance. I was an engagement financial advisor. So my job was I was working with clients like Red Bull, Nestle. So what I used to do is create financial projections for them for the next year. This is how your finances are looking, etc., etc. While I'm very grateful that I had that experience, I feel like my true calling was to do something within the consumer space, or rather, if I say something in the brand space or in the growth space, wherein I can contribute a lot more heavily. I think I was contributing, but I think what happens in an MNC is because they are so structured in the way they are and they are so large, there's a set of things that you're required to do, which are also repeatable. And it was also in an area which I don't think I was a big fan of, into finance. So I just thought that, okay, let me just try out something. And I joined a company, an edtech startup. It's called Unacademy.
Okay.
That was my second job.
And
after
which year was it?
This was in 2022.
2022.
This was in 2022 when I joined Unacademy. When I left Deloitte, I did not have any other offer in my hand. So I had just left it thinking कि देखेंगे कि we'll see what we'll do, we'll see what we can do. And then I got an offer from here, and I just thought, let me just give it a try, because it is about marketing growth. And also because I was quite young, I was all of 20, 21. I just wanted to do like whatever comes my way. I don't think I've been that person who's strategized a lot. I've just been someone who looks at opportunities, what come my way, work for it, try to be at the right place at the right time, which sort of helped me get to places if I have been. So then I started working in Unacademy. That was again not a core marketing role initially. It was a sales role. While of course I knew it was going to be business development and sales, I thought it will also involve some level of marketing, because of course it was a very holistic job description, but it was a core sales role. And as much as I probably did not like it then, today when I look back at it, I think everybody needs to do sales at some point in their life, because that gives you so much like articulation in terms of the way you handle people, the way you speak to people, the way you take rejections. Like if you're speaking to 40 people in a day and 35 of them are abusing you, and 5 of them are like, okay, dekhenge, ye karenge. So I think you get to understand, you develop a certain thick skin, that okay, this is how the industry is. And for you to sell your product, you need to be convincing enough. And how do you become convincing enough is to be extremely knowledgeable and vigilant about what your product is, to know what are the things that you need to sell, output selling, dream selling, etc., etc. And I think that has helped me in terms of it could be cracking different companies, or it could be speaking to people, or selling myself or my skills to a certain person, saying that, hey, this is what I think I can do, this is what my repertoire of work is, and this is what I think I can provide to your organization or to your show or to anything. So that was, again, it started there. Now it's a very interesting story on how I got into marketing. So I had no plans. When I was working, I was fine. I was like, okay, abhi sales kar raha hu, to abhi kar raha hu thoda time. But I don't think I had the immediate opportunity to get into marketing back then. So there was this one contest which was happening in the company. It was called as The Voice of Us or something like that. So what that was, it was a very HR-led sort of an event, जिसपे you put an audition of a video, and अगर आपका video अच्छा लगे उनको, so they will just feature you in some social media video, they'll feature you on your website with some product marketing content. So I just thought, okay, I have in my college and in my tenure, I have been a speaker, I have been someone who's liked to be on stage. So I just thought I'll just do it just for the fun part of it. And I submitted a video. I had a script and I just delivered and I submitted it. So that's what you know when we speak about the halo effect of how things reach where you don't know. So that video was seen by my CEO, and it was seen by somebody who was heading marketing, who was my ex-boss.
Okay.
So she saw the video, and at that point, she was hiring for an affiliate marketer for the US market. And she saw my video and she thought that, okay, we have this person who is in the sales team. We might as well just get him on board and see how he performs. And so one fine day I was just called to the CEO's cabin. I thought they're removing me because of course, why will you get called? Yeah. And then he said that, see, we think you can do well in this field. And I told him that I don't really have experience in marketing. Of course, I've studied and I've done like internships and all, but I don't think I have the kind of experience that it needs, because it was a one-person role. Yeah. It wasn't that I'm joining a team, because that particular segment of affiliates in South Africa and US was only done by me at that point. And I was like, okay, if the opportunity is coming, I will not tell no. And if they think I'm worthy enough, they must have seen something. So I give her a lot of credit even today for my foray into marketing, or else I don't think I would have gotten into marketing. And that's when I started with affiliate marketing. So that was my first. So I had not gotten into creator partnerships as yet. I had gotten into affiliate marketing. International affiliates was what I was working in. And I think I did a decently fair job at closing people. We were not speaking to influencers as such. We were majorly speaking to community holders or product evangelists who would help spread the word better of what your product is. That's the kind of people that we were closing. And I think slowly, because they again started an influencer marketing vertical on a new product that they were working on, and they saw me and were like, okay, fine, why don't you try this? And I did that. And I think once I started doing influencer marketing and creator partnerships, I sort of thought that, okay, this is something that I feel I can build a career on. Seeing that how it is growing in terms of as an industry, I'm sure you would know, but also the way that I enjoy talking to creators, getting those videos live, and I feel like it creates an intangible amount of impact in a user's mind. And it's a very essential lever. So that's when I started with the Indian market first, and we've had a couple of viral campaigns that went live and we did very well. And I think I did that for a couple of months in the same company before I moved on again. So then I moved to a company called Scaler. Scaler School of Technology. So we used to call it the Ivy League of Computer Science. A bachelor's program in computer science for students. And that was a different challenge altogether, because I think that segment was not something I had dealt with, of 17 to 19-year-olds, to understand what is the kind of content that really works for them. Maybe my background was a little different. And initially I felt like, okay, is this something that I can do? How do we evaluate what works here, what does not work? It's a very skewed segment. And given the fact that it was also a very big life decision for somebody to come and you're promoting it, right? It wasn't like it wasn't an application download or a D2C purchase. It was someone who's going to spend 4 years of their life with you, and you had to create content which compels them to do so. And so initially, of course, I worked on, okay, what is this? What will work in this segment? How do you sort of get better at communicating what the user wants? How do you pick the right people? How do you pick the right hooks? And I'd say that experience for me has been one of the most fulfilling experiences that I've had. One, because I think the team that I worked with was a phenomenal team. Right from everybody involved in the leadership, everybody involved who were working with me. And I think they're a set of extremely smart people, and I got to learn so much from there. So one of the most fulfilling parts of what I did is for two reasons. One is the team. I think it was one of the nicest teams that I've had a chance to work with, right from the leadership or right to the kind of peers that I had. Set of super smart folks, very driven, were at a mission to sort of achieve something. We used to have a video going live every single day.
Okay.
At one point, especially when the season peaked, 1, or I'd say maybe like 1.5 if you do the math.
Yeah.
But you had something going live every single day, and deep diving into every single video, every single content piece, that, okay, this is working for this person, this is not working here. What has been the performance for each? And of course, you look at the funnel later. That is on the output part. But if I speak of the input, when I was doing it, of course, it felt like it is exhausting me because there's a lot of work. But when I was doing it, I was quite, okay, there's so much that we are doing. But I think when you look back after a certain point, you just feel like, okay, there was so much of cohesiveness with the team, so many different kinds of content formats on YouTube, on Instagram, on, text platforms, everywhere is where we're just pushing, firing all levers, doing the best that we can. And I think that has been a very, very good journey. And I was there till about 6 months ago, before I do what I'm doing right now. So currently I work with Aspora. It's a fintech company which solves for the NRIs living abroad in the US, UK, UAE, Europe. For now, of course, we intend on going global into different diasporas. But for now, these are the countries that we operate in. We're solving for remittances. We're solving for multiple financial products that we think a non-resident Indian must have when they are residing outside the country. and without having to feel alienated with their own country. So I think that is something that I work on right now. I work at creator and brand partnerships with a tinge of some support in organic content and brand marketing, but majorly it's about creator-led distribution and what is it that we can solve for. So that's something that I'm doing right now. So yeah, that's been the journey. It took me a while to explain, but yeah, I think I would not have as much as I talk about it, but I feel like I would not have changed any part of it. Because I think every experience has led me to do something which I am probably doing today. It could be every day at work, it could be every interaction that I've had with people. So yeah, happy for the journey, and I think grateful for the journey that I'm having a conversation with you.
Yeah. No, really interesting journey that you have, like having a different experience at different organization and doing great stuffs. But while you were explaining your journey or just telling me your journey, you have mentioned that you have left Deloitte. Okay. Deloitte is a company, like people really get crazy in their college to get a placement at that company, and you have left that. Okay. So just want to throw the pinch down, like why you did that, and actually what happened. You have mentioned the story of you have submitted a video that is seen by your ex-boss, and what was it like? Would love to know.
I agree with, of course, it being a dream company. It was one of my dream companies as well.
Yeah.
But like I also told you that I have had a certain interest towards certain fields, which I think I've always did right from when I was a student from my first year. And finance, I don't think was on that list.
But you're still in finance, but on different prospect.
Yeah, I don't do finance. So
Yeah.
I don't mind being a part of a financial company,
Yeah.
but I did not want to make those spreadsheets and financial budgets for different clients. That said, I think Deloitte has also been like a beautiful journey. I was there for, I think, a year, and it was my first job. So I think your firsts always teach you a lot, and it sort of leaves a mark on how you conduct yourself in general across different organizations. And I think I've met some of the smartest and the best people in that company. So I got into Deloitte via campus placements. So I had a lot of friends with me who also joined, and it was a very cool experience. But I think I just wanted to do something different. I wanted to try out things which push me in areas which I want to explore. And I think when I got the opportunity, I just felt like, okay, this is something that I can do. When I left Deloitte, I did not know what I will do next. I just left.
You just left.
I just left. I give a lot of credit to my family, because when I told them, they were like, okay, if you want to leave, leave. And I remember I had a conversation with my dad, and he just told me ki, if you're not enjoying it, if you're not liking it, then don't do it. No matter you see that, okay, it is one of the biggest companies in the world. You see the next 10 years very secure, very stable there. But if you don't think कि तुमको मजा आ रहा है वहाँ पे काम करते हुए, then just leave. And I think I was also, maybe today if I was in that situation, I would have not left. Because today I'm a 25-year-old maybe thinking ki, how do I leave without a cushioning, without a backup? I think back then I was also very young, and I was just like, okay, let's just leave. And I left. And thankfully, I think when I left, in the next 15-20 days, I got this. And I just thought, okay, I will just join and see how it goes. And that started the marketing journey. And on the video part, it's again a very funny story, like I just told. It was a very random video that I submitted. And you see, that's the whole thing. Now, you never know what you say or what you put out somewhere, who views it and who it reaches to. It might reach one of the most powerful people in a room, and they'll be like, okay, he is talking sense, or he is good, or because you don't envision it when you're doing it, you're just doing it for the sake of it. So I think it was a very similar case. that video was just, and I don't think I did a good job in the video. So I think I was just maybe sort of reading from a script. But they thought I was fine and I was decent at it. And I met them and they were like, and I was like, okay, fine. If they think they've been in the company for so much time, and they think that I can pull something off, then I think I should trust their instinct. And a lot of times I have just gone with someone else's instinct, even before self-belief. So if you think I can do something, I'll be like, okay, Ansh is a founder. He has done some great work in his life. If he thinks that I can do something, maybe I must have something. Because I'm also very self-deprecative of my own work, very self-critical. So I think that I just went with the flow. Like I told, I don't think I have strategized things ever. I want to do this, then I'll do this, I will go here, I will go here. I agree that's a great thing to have, but I've been more of a person who's been like, okay, I'll just go with the flow. I'll see what comes. I'll be around the right people. I'll be at the right places, and I will do the right work. I will keep bettering myself day on day, month on month, year on year. And if an opportunity comes, then I think I should take it up. So I think that's the whole idea of that entire story of that video. And then I got into marketing, because I don't think I would have gotten into marketing if I had not done it, because I would have gotten more experience in sales, and eventually I would apply for sales jobs itself, because marketing I did not have experience. So if I did not have got मतलब opportunity नहीं मिलता, तो मेरा career trajectory अलग होता. So I think it's just how things are planned for you. You just go with the flow and do a good job at whatever you're asked to.
Makes sense. I mean, you have mentioned a very great point. When you are young, like at the age of 21, 20s or whatever it is, you have a great ambition to do something. और शायद आप उस टाइम पे वो चीज़ कर लेते हो ना, वो आप आगे नहीं कर पाओगे. और उस टाइम आपने वो ले लिया, वो करेज ले लिया टू डू समथिंग. दैट मीन्स अ लॉट. लाइक एंड द सेकंड थिंग आई ऑल्सो वांट टू मेंशन, आपने एक और चीज़ मेंशन करी थी कि आपने वो ऐसी वीडियो रैंडमली पुट कर दी एंड ऑल. I think 99% of people want to do the same, but the only hurdle is they do not put that video. You were one of them who have put it out the video. So I think taking these type of steps, which are little different from other, and be little courageous in the young age and all, I think everything जो कहते हैं ना compounding होती है life की, वो इन चीज़ों से होती जाती है. So I'm big believer of that.
Agreed and disagreed both थोड़ा सा. Because I think जब वो मैं कर रहा था, in my head ऐसा कुछ नहीं था कि courageous चीज़ कर रहा हूँ. नहीं, मेरे लिए I have always been a very unserious person in my life. So मैं बहुत ज़्यादा consequences के बारे में तब भी नहीं सोचता था, मैं अभी भी नहीं सोचता हूँ. I feel like I need to be true to myself. I need to do a good job at what I'm asked to. But at that point when I was leaving, of course there was a thing in my back of my head ki what will I do now? But there was also this certain belief that I will figure things out. So I don't know if us time pe it was a courageous decision to make, because I think I was extremely young. I don't think my family had, I still live with my family. So it was like, okay, they were like, theek hai, even if you don't want to do a job, you figure out things for 2-3 months, take look. So I think if you have that kind of atmosphere, it just helps you in taking decisions a lot. So, and on the second point, video pe bhi, I think I have just been a person who likes to put myself out there, and that came from a fact because I have all my life, or I'd say even today, I am a bit of an introvert. I am not the most talkative person in the room. So I think when I started my college is when I thought that this is not how I think I will get where I have to. I will need to constantly put myself out in places in front of people for me to attract the kind of opportunities that I have to. In my personal space, I'm still a very big introvert. I do not like talking the most, even though I do, but I don't think I have the most amount of skill set in socializing, in being the the life of a room. So I think that is an effort for me. So for me ये भी वही था कि यार करके देखते हैं, एंड ऐसा माइंड में ऐसा था कि कहीं जाने नहीं वाला है, nobody is going to see it. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा एक HR देखेगा, क्या हो जाएगा, तो लाइक कि ठीक है देखते हैं क्या होता है. So that sort of thing, and I think in your early days, या फिर I'm still young, but in your early 20s, right, at 20, 21, 22, you're very casual with yourself. आपको इतना नहीं होता है कि how will it be perceived, how will you be perceived. You are a lot more experimental in things, you do different things. Maybe when you reach like a 24 or a 25, you become a little more cognizant, a little more cautious about how you want to present yourself and how you want to put yourself out there. Maybe today मैं कभी वो वीडियो नहीं डालूंगा because मैं अभी भी वो वीडियो देखूंगा, I will be like, this is a very bad video. I might not put it out. But I think at that point, and also what I feel is a lot of times people don't look at output, people look at intent. So if they feel like, okay, if somebody has put something out, and even if it's half decent, not the best, maybe you can get better at it. One of my boss in one of my early companies told me, skills can be taught, attitude cannot. Right? So if you have the right attitude to learn, then I think आप वो कर लोगे.
Right.
Skills क्या है? Skills is a subset of what you want to do and how you want to work towards it. If you have the right attitude to work towards it, then you will be able to do it. So I think that's how I have sort of been.
So Rayyan, like till now we have talked about your journey, how you have done things and out. Now let's get into more into what you do, which is in the whole we can say marketing, in the deep we can say create a partnership and growth and all. So I have a question, like right now I am seeing a lot people are changing their position or their title from marketer to growth. Okay, this is something that I seeing a lot. This is my question to you, like I want to know, what is the difference between a marketer and a growth person? Are they the same? What is happening into this whole industry? क्या हो रहा है marketing और growth?
I think growth and marketing are of course very interlinked to each other, but growth is a lot more tangible, a lot more measurable. Marketing on the other hand is intangible, is things which are in the air. Both are extremely important, but I agree that it's become a very trending word now. People, growth hackers, growth managers in general, but it's I think a very important lever or a very important function to have in your company. You know, like Nikhil Kamath has once said that if you have distribution, you have eyeballs. Most of the time, it's only when your product is distributed evenly across different verticals is when you get the right eyeballs to your product. Because as much as we disagree or agree, a great product with mid distribution, with distribution I mean distribution channels, the GTM channels, etc., versus a mid product with great distribution, in most cases the latter wins. And that's because a lot of people know about it. As much as we speak about word of mouth marketing, but I don't think it scales massively initially, right? It doesn't have the kind, it does have scale in terms of long tail products. Of course, it's very important to keep bettering your product journey in general, but I feel growth is a very important function that one needs to have. I think as much as we maybe romanticize product, growth also needs to sit somewhere because it's very important for you to have the kind of distribution and the user growth that you do. And if I have to define what growth is to you, is there's this person called Rory Sutherland.
Okay.
So what he's told is, when you're famous, customers come to you, right? When you're not famous, you go to the customers. Simple. Every company, right? You are an XYZ startup versus you are a Nike, there is a big difference. Now, what is growth is in two transitions, right? So the first transition is transition one is when you're not famous. Every penny, every dollar you spend is to acquire users, right? And growth is the journey for you to get from phase one to phase two, where people start knowing you. Okay? You might argue that it's what marketing also does. Marketing is also sort of spreading the word.
Yeah.
But like I told you, it's extremely interlinked with each other. Marketing is a lot about your brand. Marketing is a lot about things which cannot maybe be shown on a spreadsheet, versus growth is something that you can.
Okay.
In terms of attribution, in terms of numbers. So that's my thing on marketing versus growth. I'd like to call myself a growth and a marketing person, because I think creator partnerships sit at the very center.
Yeah.
It has the right amount of growth and also has the right amount of marketing.
Yeah.
So kind of get the taste of both the worlds. But I agree, it's very interlinked with each other. I think the way of working changes a bit when you are doing it.
This was great. Okay, Rayyan, but with the AI, a lot of things are changing right now. Like when the marketing used to be done, let's say 3-4 years ago, it was way different. Right now, it is way different. Now, people have tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Hexfield, QuickReel, and these type of tool. I know the next 5 years would be very, very different. So, in the right now, a lot of people are coming. Okay, a lot of people are coming and saying like, we can do this thing with AI, this thing with AI. So the whole world is becoming with some journalists who can do a lot of things, but on an average. But there are some specialists who can do one thing with a great way. How do you see the whole thing and the whole system is going forward? कि मतलब who are gonna win this race? Like कौन है जो लोग वो जीतने वाले हैं इस चीज?
I have a very different answer for this. I think the debate of generalist versus being a specialist has always been a debate. Ki should you be a generalist in a company or should you be a specialist?
Yeah.
And as you rightly said, with the advent of AI, thoda sa blur ho gaya hai.
Yeah.
Right? And why I say that is AI has sort of commoditized a lot of operational work, and AI has commoditized breadth. Now with breadth, I mean that things that it can cover. Now AI will have a certain working knowledge kaho ya working understanding of every sort of function in a company, and it will have the most amount of understanding of how do you execute it. It will give you steps, etc., etc. Whether it's right or wrong is a different debate. But what AI, at least as of now, tomorrow Claude might come with a tweet that it is there. But as of now, what is not replaced is judgment. Is when I look at something and I say that, and context, judgment and context. Of course, you can feed everything into AI. But I think when you are in the system, you will know that why will this perform the way it will? Why will this not perform the way it will? So that is something that for now AI has not commoditized. AI has commoditized a lot of operational tasks for you. Which is why I feel like if you're a generalist, but without having maybe a specific area of expertise, not the best way forward. But if you're a specialist with the most amount of knowledge about what you're doing, but don't have an understanding of the breadth of things that are happening, that's also not going to work. So what I think the conversation needs to go is being a T-shaped marketer or a T-shaped professional. Sorry, I said marketer because I am a marketer, but a T-shaped professional.
Okay.
So you have an understanding of all functions of how an organization comes together to build something. It could be your marketing channels, it could be your product, it could be your customer support, it could be everything that you need to have an understanding of how all of these things come together to form the objective where you're going. But at the same time, you need to have a certain level of expertise in one thing wherein you can proudly say that I think I am the top 5% of the world in this skill. I'm not saying I am. I'm just saying that you need to sort of aspire to be the best in something that you feel you've spent the most time in.
Hmm.
But, and that's why people will respect your judgment, will understand, okay, where you're coming from in a certain thing, but have an understanding of every single function, maybe not in depth, but maybe how it maybe supports you, how it supports the overall outcome of the business. And if you have that understanding, you will be able to strategize things with different levers, with different channels, with different teams on achieving your goals, on achieving your organizational goals. So it's important to be like a T-shaped professional, generalist, specialist. I don't like to get into nomenclature a lot or label. I think it's also because I spent the most time in startups. Startups में क्या होता है कि सबको सब कुछ आना चाहिए.
Yeah.
So so it's a thing that you need to know everything. You need to have an understanding of everything. But it's very important to have a certain area of place where you feel like, okay, this is something where कोई भी आके मेरे से कुछ भी सवाल पूछे on anything, I should be in a position to give an answer, or I should be in a position to challenge some assumptions of mine. So that I feel is important with the whole generalist and specialist debate. You just need to be a T-shaped professional, who just needs to, who knows what he is doing, and then just go with it.
Makes sense, definitely. Rayyan, I mean, I am into this space, like when I started working out and all, I'm seeing some companies marketing campaigns, or you can say like their marketing strategies. Let's take an example of Spotify. Every year they release Spotify Wrap. Last year, everyone in my contact list, everyone in my friends circle, everyone share their Spotify Wrap.
Yeah.
The second thing I remember, the Duolingo mascot. Everyone talk about that. Recently, like if we compare with the new age companies, Zomato and Swiggy are the one. They are like their push notifications, their Gen Z talking and all. So that is getting very famous, and which is very rare, or I mean very different to build, right? In the most recent time, I have seen, like, for example, Hyrox. Now, personally, what I have seen common in all of these campaigns, all of these marketing strategies, like these marketing strategies aren't directly from brand to customer. These are the strategies that have a conversation in the whole circle. Like my friend is telling about how the notification he get from Zomato. Somebody is telling me about a Duolingo marketing. Hyrox is something that got very famous just because people are sharing it on their mobile screen. So I have the thesis, like the company which produces something which is highly shareable among their circle, I mean, can build a very great strategy around that. So I just want to know, like, from your perspective, because you are into this industry, how do you see this, and why not other brands are able to replicate it? And let's say if other brands want to replicate it, how they are gonna do it?
All right, I think it's a very good question. The first one that you mentioned, Spotify Wrapped, I think it's one of the best marketing campaigns in the world. And I'll tell you why. Because it's actually not a marketing campaign. It's a product feature, right? It was not designed to go viral. It was designed to make the user experience shareable. Millions of users every single year, and it's a decade-old concept.
Yeah.
Every single year, millions of people share screenshots of their top songs, of their top singers, everything. Spotify is paying absolute zero for it, right?
Yeah.
They're not spending any money to get the whole world talking about them every single year. And that is, I feel, a master stroke in marketing because of how interlinked the product and your marketing is. Your product needs to create advocacy for you. Incentivization have a shelf life. Like, incentivization can help you in a certain level, but if your product can create that virality for you, shareability for you, I think there's no better campaign than that. There's this person called Apurv Kumar.
Okay.
He was the ex-CMO of Apple and Amazon. So he said this one thing: campaigns have a shelf life. मैं आज एक कैंपेन लाइव करूंगा, हफ्ता 2 हफ्ता चलेगा, 3 हफ्ता चलेगा, खत्म हो जाएगा, फिर मैं कुछ और करूंगा. It's a perennial cycle, right? But stories don't. Every single year, people want to share who their number one singer is, people want to ask people they've never spoken to in the last 1 year that who yours is, what have they been able to create is FOMO within the non-users. If somebody who does not, I don't use Spotify, but when I look at my Instagram stories in December and January, I'm almost at the verge to just install it, just for that aesthetic screenshot. So I think they've beautifully married product, design, marketing, all three of them, to create a product which sort of keeps on sharing itself and you don't have to do anything. The next one, Duolingo, one of my favorite companies. I think the way they have cracked social media has been the best in the world. And why, in my opinion, people may have a differing opinion, they gave personality to a character, right? That owl, which you see on Duolingo, has its own opinions. It beefs with celebrities. It has its own set of things, whims and fancies that people like, that people feel like, okay, this is not just something, it's not like a product icon or something. It is something which is fun, is shareable. And I think they've beautifully captured the younger generation or the Gen Zs and the Gen Alpha due to the social media game that they've cracked. And it's primarily because of that owl, which again, if you see it with the previous example, is again a product feature, right? The third one, if you speak about Zomato, one thing that you've noticed, whenever you read tweets from Zomato or whenever you read push notifications from Zomato, you will never feel like it's a brand talking to you. You will always feel like it's a person talking to you.
Somebody, my buddy, is just sending me some message.
It will send you push notification ki bhai khana khane aaja. And as simple as it is, I think they've cracked that human to human connect, because marketing eventually kya hai? You have to connect with people. You have to speak to your end users. And I think they have understood the fact that people do not like brands. When I say do not like, of course they consume them, they use them, but I will not want to follow a brand on social media. I will follow Zomato on social media. Not because I'm a user of Zomato. Whether I am or I'm not is a different debate. But I will still follow them for the content they put out. Because they are relatable, they are funny. Their PNs, the push notifications are just extremely good. The way the copies are written, the way in-app things that they have promoted are sort of there. So if you've seen all these three examples, your product is very interlinked to your marketing. So to answer your last question, what I feel is why maybe everybody is not able to do it is how we look at product, tech and marketing is very different. We look at it from, okay, product hai, product ban gaya, features ban gaye, and then you go to the marketing team and you tell ki this is your product, aap isko promote karo, aap iske campaigns banao.
Right.
Maybe if I speak about all these companies, what they've really done well is integrated your product into your marketing and just chased value, created good value. Spotify का जो engineer है जिसने वो बनाया, जिसने ideate किया, they were not probably thinking कि this will reach 10 million people every year or whatever the user size is. They wanted to create something valuable for their users. And I feel good content will always travel. You must have seen this Deluxe dog, right? Very popular. It's a $1 billion asset today. Rory Sutherman once said, when the photo shoot was happening, right, that dog was not a part of the photo shoot. It just happened to be around. Photographer ko laga ki this setup ke saath this dog will look very nice. Why don't I just take a picture? So that's what I'm saying. I think we should not chase virality. We need to chase value. Virality is a byproduct of value of the product that you have. If you create good distribution, if you create something out of the box which speaks to people directly, virality may or may not come, but value would. And eventually, what you are chasing with your growth and marketing, all the metrics and everything, I think it does sit well. Because marketing is fat-tailed. Now, what I mean by fat-tailed is 10% of your marketing campaigns, only 10% of your marketing campaigns will give you 80% or 90% of your returns or everything. But you will never know what that 10% is.
Right.
इसीलिए हम सब कुछ ट्राई करते हैं and we figure out ये चलता है. फिर हम इस पे और स्पेंड कर देते हैं, अगले साल हमको पता चलता है ये नहीं चल रहा है, कुछ और चल रहा है. It is an ever changing industry, so you will never know what that 10% is that will work, which is why you will do everything. So that way it is extremely fat-tailed. So what, from where I look at it is, I think we need to just create good value to your customers, to your users, treat them intelligently, create the kind of content which they will share, which eventually आपका brand फिर बनता रहेगा.
Right.
But आपका user experience, especially in the brands that you've mentioned, is something that needs to be the top priority. Even with Hyrox, अभी जो आप कह रहे थे, I think they've cracked FOMO.
100%.
मतलब somebody who's even not remotely into Hyrox
Yeah.
would be like कि भाई मेरे को 9,000 देने हैं and I will go there.
Yeah. I have seen a lot of my friends are going there.
So if you're tapping into a certain segment of emotions,
Yeah.
they've understood their TG very well. Master stroke in marketing.
Yeah.
And when Hyrox happened अभी recently जब हुआ था Bangalore में, 25 people on my stories had put on my Instagram had put stories. Hyrox is not paying them, but they think Hyrox is something which is extremely premium, extremely valuable. Sharing this will be a good addition to my online resume. If I have to say it that way. So I think cracking certain emotions of the audience is important, and then not creating silos between your product and marketing and sort of merging them together and inculcate that how will you impact user growth with your product and how will you impact your product with new users, etc. I think that needs to come, and that I don't know if a lot of brands are doing, because these two departments are treated very differently.
Yeah, I think recently I was just listening a podcast of Lucy Guo, I think. Yeah, I'm not remembering her name. So she was telling, so she's a great PR. No, her name is not Lucy Guo, but I'm not remembering her name. She was Lulu Chang. So she was telling she's a great PR person for people like Sam Altman and all. And she have said one thing: become so underrated that everyone want to push you upside. So I think when your brands become like this, everyone wants to get associated and everyone wants you to win. Okay.
Right.
I think this case was happened with Cluely also. The company coming out in US, young founder, he's rage baited and all. And I think a lot of people doesn't know about his product, but they just came to make that person win and make his mission successful. So I think if brand thinks like this, so they can crack a huge opportunity into the market. That's my personal thinking, and I think that's a great way to go.
Correct. It's also like value by association, right? So if me associating with the brand, if I feel like, okay, this is something that has cracked it, and me associating with it is only going to increase my value in a certain room. So I think most brands have done that. Apple has done it beautifully. When someone listens to Apple, phone is, I think, the fifth thing that comes to their mind. The first thing that comes is premium, luxury. So having that kind of a value for your brand, which may or may not be your product, that's a different debate. You think of a Rolls Royce, car is not the first thing that maybe is coming to your mind. The first thing is again luxury. So very similar to what you are also saying, that you need to associate your brand with certain parameters. With that, the right users will get attracted. So you don't have to pull them to your brand. You have to just create a perception about it in a way that they just come to you automatically. And then, like you're saying, be so underrated, or be just well rated, underrated, overrated, whatever. If you're able to get the right kind of customers for your brand and creating the right value, then I think you've won.
Yeah. 100% agree. Rayyan, right now in this time, we are in the age of AI, where everything is getting commoditized. Okay, now creating content is getting commoditized. Creating products is getting also commoditized. कुछ नहीं रह गया है जो कि commoditized ना होने वाला.
हम सब job छोड़ देते.
So because to be honest, earlier 5 years ago, let's say, एक वीडियो बनाने में brands or maybe anyone have to spend a lot of money to just create that video. Right now that video can be created by AI. Now AI is in the hand of everyone. not a single person. So how do you see the marketing in this whole changing of scenario is gonna face? Because पूरा scenario तो change होने वाला है. जो पहले चलता था अब नहीं हो पाएगा.
Correct.
So how do you see that, and how do you see in the next 5 years how the brands are going to evolve, how the marketers are going to evolve and tackle with this situation?
I think, as you rightly said, access has become mass, right? Which is a great thing. But if I tell you these 3-4 things, AI has made content creation for brands practically the easiest it has ever been in the world.
Yeah.
Right? अभी मैं 5 सेकंड में 10 सेकंड में मैं अच्छा सा प्रॉम्प्ट डाल के आई क्रिएट द बेस्ट प्रोडक्ट मार्केटिंग वीडियो एवर. बट इमेजिन सिर्फ आपके पास AI नहीं है या सिर्फ मेरे पास AI नहीं है. AI सबके पास है. Now every brand will create the same amount of videos that you are in 5 seconds. Okay? So your quality of content may get average and may get serviceable, but the audience के POV से आप देखोगे, audience already बहुत overwhelmed है. Brands बहुत content भेजते हैं, बहुत कुछ डालते हैं. Multiply that by 10, right? Every brand pushing out 10 की जगह 100 videos because it is easy to create. But at the end of the day, number of videos is not your metric. Number of videos is not my metric. My metric is user trust. So user trust will only come when your audience is engaging with a high value content piece, or audience is engaging with a person, audience is engaging with a product video also, but created with finesse. Because as AI commoditizes a lot of marketing things, it also leaves room for creativity. At least as of today, of where AI stands in marketing, it creates the most beautiful amount of kind of content. It creates great videos. But when you think of it from a brand perspective at scale, I think user को overwhelming लग सकता है. तो I don't think marketing पे as such impact होगा, क्योंकि आपका outcome तो नहीं बदलेगा. आप 10 वीडियो की जगह आप अगर 100 वीडियो पुश कर रहे हो तो 50 और ब्रांड वो कर रहे हैं, तो यूजर को लगेगा कि ठीक है आपका आउटकम सेम ही रहेगा.
Right.
Maybe it will still be good for the brand because you're not practically spending a lot. तो आपका कॉस्ट पर एक्विजिशन वगैरह वगैरह चेंज हो सकता है. बट आई फील लाइक इट्स नॉट मे बी गोइंग टू चेंज और ट्रांसफॉर्म और रिप्लेस people or marketers in a certain way. I'll give you one example. There's this guy called Kieran Flagnan. He ran the entire marketing for HubSpot.
Yeah, I have heard about him.
It's a very big CRM tool. He told me that AI is a beautiful content assistant, but not a content maker. Okay, so I feel how you should integrate maybe AI into this is to sort of offload a lot of your operational tasks.
Okay.
Offload maybe the creation part, the execution part, somewhat of the distribution part. But I feel the ideating and the strategy part as of today needs to be led by a human, or needs to be advocated by a human for it to give you the kind of results that you want to. That is what I feel. And also, as more and more videos start going live across different brands, different people, now even people have their own AI models and they speak, I feel like users will ultimately want more of people and less of brands.
Yeah.
Because एक sensibility फिर आ जाती है उनमें कि ठीक है, this is AI. You make it the most real, you make it everything. But if they do get an understanding that there are so many companies doing it, they might yearn or crave for a human video, which some brand will then do it and then become a case study 5 years later. So so I feel anything and everything which becomes extremely accessible to everyone and is produced in bulk. So आप user के POV से सोचोगे तो user is receiving things in bulk. I don't just follow one. I follow 5 other competitors of you. आपके सारे competitors मुझे same तरह का content भेज रहे हैं created by AI. At one point मैं पांचों को unfollow कर दूंगा. And कोई एक competitor कर रहा होगा जिसमें हफ्ते में वो एक ही वीडियो डाल रहा है. But it's a person speaking or just some different creative idea, and I was like, huh. You can never predict what a user likes, or you can never predict what works, what doesn't work. And with AI, of course, the technology was made to make lives easier, which I feel it is. I have myself at my workplace built an AI automation system for influencer marketing, but I don't think I have offloaded the content part or the ideation, the strategy part. That I feel I need to be there.
Yeah.
What I have done is something which is repeatable. Finding people, scoring people in terms of their relevance to the brand. And then, of course, once things are going live, then how do you manage the entire post-live journey? All that things I feel you need to get AI with and get done beautifully. Treat it like an engineer who supports you in content, but do not treat it as somebody who's creating content for you. So I think that would be my take. Maybe 15 days later I can have a different opinion, because the way things are changing in AI, it could just change, and I could have a completely different opinion. But I think as of today, I think brand sensibilities and human touch is something that's needed, because ultimately you're speaking to people, right? You're speaking to users, and users will only value humans. I am creating content and I'm telling you, hey, this shirt is very nice, why don't you buy it? Will create, in my opinion, more value than this shirt in a video doing all these, it's rolling on the video. So I just feel like a user will understand, and we need to treat the audience very intelligently. We need to make sure that we are not fooling the audience, because the users need to understand that ultimately they want me to purchase this product. But how are they asking me to? If they are pushing a lot of slop on me, ki kar lo, and 5 videos in a day, then a user trust gets reduced. So while, to answer your question, your volume can get increased, I hope in time quality also gets better. But I still feel there needs to be some sort of human.
No, I really love it. Like you said, after the 5 year, a human is creating video could become a case study.
So you never know, right? You never know what something which is consumed massively. 100 people start using it. Then 1,000 people start using it. Then one person doing something differently, which was very common 20 years back, will become a case study. Like he's
100%. While something becomes so much of commoditized or so much saturated, you have to be different in some way.
Correct.
Like if you will be same with other peoples out there,
correct,
you are no different to be recognized by the audience, no different to be loved by the audience and all, because they have the other 100 options out there.
Also, just to sort of reiterate, I'm definitely not against AI. I think it's one of the first and the things that I integrated in my workflows, and I absolutely love using it in marketing. And I think it does so much for marketers that we don't really think of and know of, and it structures things so differently and so much better. All I feel is on a content side, maybe there needs to be some human touch, but I'm all in for offloading things to AI and building structures, repeatable structures which sort of give you outcomes.
There's a lot of things in the marketing. A lot of ways to do marketing. There is UGC, there is affiliate marketing, there is influencer marketing, there is performance marketing, and so on. I would love to know what are the difference between each of them, and if a brand is doing, how they should input their effort in each category. I know there would be different of opinions about different of brand, in which industry they are and all. But according to right now, what situation is going on, anybody who is watching this podcast, let's say a young founder started a startup and want to do the marketing, where they should put their effort and where they can get the highest ROI.
Got it. So these channels which you're mentioning are essentially all GTM channels that we have. So the first one is your performance marketing, right? So what do you mean by performance marketing is when you run ads, Google via Meta, etc. You must see a lot of ads on your Instagram, on your Facebook. It could be a creative or it could be a video. Very simple to sort of understand. Okay, you tap on it, you go to a certain landing page, and then you are eventually converted. In terms of attribution, I think it is the most straightforward way to market, because you are marketing to a certain set of users. You are spending X amount. 1%, 2% जितने भी हैं लोग आपको क्लिक कर रहे हैं, 90% आपको देख रहे हैं, 90% ऑफ द लोग आपको देख रहे हैं, उसमें से आपका 0.1% कन्वर्जन वगैरह वगैरह आपका फनल बनता है. दैट इज योर परफॉर्मेंस मार्केटिंग. What I think is maybe we need to look at differently even in performance is, I think, suppose you run ads for 100 people or you run ads for 100,000 people, sorry, and out of those 100,000 people 1% of them are maybe just clicking on your creative, right? We get into that funnel कि ठीक है, बिकॉज दैट नंबर इज ऑल्सो वेरी बिग. वो आप 1% में जाओगे, फिर यू लुक एट कि यहाँ से कितना क्लिक आया, कितना ये आया, कितना आपको ट्रांसफ़र आया या एप्लीकेशन डाउनलोड आया, जो भी आया, you will look at that funnel. But the 90% of the people are still viewing you, right? They are still seeing you. It is creating some level of brand memory, maybe not to a level of what a celebrity video or a referral does, but it is still creating something, right? So I feel it is essential for you to have performance marketing as a lever, because it helps you understand your budgets well, understand your entire funnel well, know that I don't believe in, okay, this was for brand, this was for performance. Ultimately, it's a human that you're talking to. Ultimately, it needs to sort of connect to the end user, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's one of the most straightforward approaches for your GTM channels. I personally have not worked on performance marketing, but I have worked with teams who run, I've discussed things with people who do performance marketing and have a little bit of idea of how it works, at least in the past 6-7 months of how, what really works for what set of users. Now the next is UGC, this is user generated content. I'd like to call it that UGC is a child of influencer marketing.
Yeah.
Because influencer marketing had sort of become saturated. Why? Because people were like कि ये बंदा 5 और चीज़ें के बारे में बात करता है. He also promotes 5 shampoos. He is also promoting this shampoo. Why do I trust this guy? Okay.
Yeah.
This was a case in influencer marketing.
Yeah.
Which is why people thought कि नहीं, अभी influencer नहीं, अभी UGC करते हैं.
Yeah.
User generated content. हमको 2 लाख फॉलोवर नहीं चाहिए, हमको 2000 का कोई चाहिए, बट वो कंटेंट बनाएगा एंड एट स्केल बनाएगा, which will work. But you know what I feel? I feel anything when it gets industrialized,
Yeah.
it sort of loses that touch.
Yeah. It gets saturated.
It gets saturated. And currently within UGC, I think what's happening is very similar to what happened with television ads. Everybody has the same hook. Guess what happened today? You don't know what this product did to me. ऐसे करके, and you will have some reels. But I don't think it will ever die down because it is extremely cost effective. You don't spend a lot of money in producing the volume that you are, and out of 10 maybe 1 will work phenomenally well, and that 1 would be something which has done something differently, which has promoted it a little differently, and how where the content, the story is maybe the hero, the content is weaved into the product, and how the product is actually being tried on different buckets of content, right? So एक में हो सकता है कि you are trying out what the product is live. So you're seeing that, okay, this is how, let me just go try. Also depends on what industry is, how much investment does that product need of you, various things. But I think UGC is something that will only grow, but the only caveat there is, I think, constant innovation is needed, or else it sort of hits a roadblock. That's UGC. Then is referral marketing.
Yeah, referral marketing.
One of the most important marketing channels.
Just for the audience, like there is a referral marketing and there is a affiliate marketing. Are they the same or different?
No.
Different.
So referral marketing is when your users advocate for you.
Okay.
Right? So I am, suppose this shirt, you have purchased a shirt from me and you really liked it. You tell
My
your friends that, hey, I love this shirt, and I give you 100 rupees for it. That is referral marketing, but you are a user. But the only thing that I think I also spoke about it earlier is that your product needs to create advocacy for you. Your incentivization can create short-term advocacy, but eventually if people do not like your product, you cannot push them for referring their friends. Versus when somebody really likes the product, this is Spotify.
Yeah.
There's no referral there.
Mm-hmm.
There's no amount there going. But I think the product advocacy is so high that people love it so much that people are like, अगर उसके पास नहीं है, तो he's missing out on something in life.
Yeah.
So that is what referrals is, and referrals by far, I feel, is the biggest channel. Only second maybe to organic, because मेरे को अगर TV पे a superstar tells me that wear this versus you telling me कि wear this, I've tried it, it's good, I'll trust you because I know that person is paid. You are also being paid, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And you tell me that you
Sure.
tell it to your friend, I will also give you 100 rupees. So that creates a chain,
Yeah.
but it also is trustworthy because it comes from sources of advocacy. It comes from my friend, it comes from my brother, it comes from my sister. They tell me that use this application, it's good. They send me some link, I'll do it. So I think that is referrals. Affiliate marketing is similar, but it's nothing to do with users. Affiliate marketing is you run a WhatsApp group with 3,000 people. I'll tell you, hey, why don't you just send this message in your group that suppose I'm selling books. Like you just put a message on your group that, hey, I've just read this book, it's really, really cool. And with every person who buys with your link, I'll pay you 100 rupees. I'll pay you 200 rupees.
Yeah.
Affiliate marketing and referral marketing, the only thing that's common is skin in the game, right?
Someone is user.
And you are a product evangelist.
Product
You are
evangelist.
a different person.
Yeah.
What's similar is you have the skin in the game to earn money.
Yeah.
You will keep pushing hard so that you increase your invoice amount. The referee will keep pushing hard so that he gets more money.
Yeah.
From a user POV, if you have a group of 3,000 people, they trust you. They're like, अगर भैया बोल रहे हैं तो करते हैं, and they'll do it. But you are not a user. You are an external person. You have not opened my application only. You have never downloaded it. But the user has used it firsthand. So I think that case, referrals is a little more trustworthy than affiliate marketing. But affiliate is a very similar case because it's very cost effective. You don't pay people for nothing. You only pay them for outcomes. You pay them for the results that they drive you. So in that way, I think that's also going to keep on soaring higher. And then of course you have influencer marketing, is I have a soft spot for it, which a lot of people say that is saturated, is changed. But I feel ये conversation ना 2020 से होते आ रही है.
Yeah, I agree.
कि boom हो रहा है, फिर बोल रहे हैं कि नहीं, trust नहीं है, ये नहीं है. But no brands stop doing influencer marketing, right? Why
Even
is
the
that?
market is getting bigger and bigger.
Correct. It gets, and by 2030 it's expected to grow even more.
Yeah.
And why is that? Is because it creates a certain intangible impact which you will never see. Which you will see when you don't do it. That organic impact which it drives, because you agree or you don't agree, it creates distribution, right?
Yeah.
Which the other channels don't. The other channels are targeting to your users and telling them. Affiliate marketing में भी आप segmented users से बात कर रहे हो और बोल रहे हो करो. Influencer पे 2 million follower है, 50,000 follower है, जो भी है. Your video is on the internet. It goes viral, doesn't go viral is a different thing, but it is consumed by people from all walks of life. So it helps you in brand awareness, it helps you in brand visibility, it helps you in top of the funnel. Which entire जो GTM का structure है, having a top of the funnel, then having a mid funnel, then bottom funnel. So top of the funnel के ऊपर जो है, that is creation of curiosity and brand awareness in general, and then they become your leads, and then they of course get into the funnel. So I think influencer is one of the biggest channels which help you in that. It maybe does not show you immediate results down the funnel and show you कि इससे 50 sale आ गए, but it creates you that entire downstream impact via the kind of audiences it brings in. So that is very important. A lot of times things are not justified on paper, saying that okay ये expensive था, इससे क्या आया, which is why I said that in the beginning, right? That influencer marketing is like half growth, half marketing. So you can't fully put it on a sheet. Also, you can't fully say that it's in the air. So there needs to be some level of attribution that you need to understand and build your logics around. But there needs to be a certain spend that you do that okay, is intangible. It will get you some visitors, it will get you eyeballs, which may not give you immediate transactions or immediate value. But I feel it is here to stay. Same thing like UGC, I think it needs to keep reinventing its content. So the best marketing is what does not feel like marketing. So if you have to do influencers, you need to crack every single day different content pieces, different hooks, different content angles of what works, what doesn't work. The minute people find a pattern, change it, and that's how we can succeed. I think that's on influencers.
Can you give me example of brands who have done exceptional work in each of these categories? Like some brand who have done exceptional work in the performance, any brand who have done exceptional work in the influencer marketing. Can you give me examples?
I think for UGC, biggest and the best example has to be Apple. The entire shot on iPhone, which became so popular, was actually user pictures, which turned into billboards, turned into everything. And I feel they've really nailed the user generated content at the most. There's Mama Earth, an Indian company. I can name them for UGC and influencer both. I think even before other brands were doing it, they captured micro influencers even before it was a term. They got every single mom influencer or anyone to just create content for them. Back, I'd say, post-COVID or pre-COVID, when the industry was just starting out and booming. And I think they did a great job at UGC, Mama Earth. If I have to speak to you about referrals, I think one of the most interesting referrals that I've ever seen in a company is this company called Dropbox.
Yeah,
Pretty sure you've heard of it. So they did not incentivize their users with cash or vouchers or anything. They told that give storage, get storage.
Yeah.
So you use it for storage, you give it to someone and you also get it. Trust me, in 15 months, their user base grew by 3,900%. It's one of the biggest referrals case study that you will find because they did such a fab job at it. For performance marketing, again, I'll name an Indian company, Nykaa. They did a great job in treating content marketing and performance marketing parallelly. Their content created demand and created curiosity and attention, and their ads then created transfers and transactions. And I think they just weaved that into very, very beautifully. So I'd say Nykaa for performance marketing. For influencers, again, I think Mama Earth was one because they did a lot of influencers. I think in the D2C space, one of the first companies to go all out on influencer marketing and spend maybe most of their budgets on influencers was Mama Earth. And Boat, Aman Gupta's Boat, I think they got in celebrities, called them boat heads.
Yeah.
Giving them some sort of equity. Just I think and also on influencers in general, on the kind of content that they should make, wasn't just about music or wasn't just about like a machine. It was more in terms of brand value, more in terms of sense of possession, which I feel they did a good job at. So yeah, I can think of these names for now that did a good job at each of these levers.
You have worked with a lot of creators till now. And I think you're the one of the person that I personally know who deal with a lot of creators and running some successful campaigns. What do you think, like, what is the difference between how do you plan whole campaign out there and the other brands are planning out? Because I'm also into this space, like of this creator space since a very long time. I also ran some campaign way back in 2023, and I see a lot of brands are just spending money and do not get the ROI at the end of it. Okay, but what do you do different which makes your campaign successful?
Nothing different, honestly. I'll tell you why. A lot of my campaigns don't work too. Some of them do, some of them don't. I think what one needs to do is to just keep reinventing on different formats. One is content. One is the person that you're doing it with, understanding the audience and the user segment. And because there is, honestly, I'm saying there is no holy grail to go by and say that ye chalega, ya ye nahi chalega, because at most times the most successful ideas don't work, the most absurd ones do. So I don't think I have done anything differently or anyone else is doing anything differently. Everybody is sort of putting their best foot forward to get the kind of results that we do. A lot of times I feel it's a bit unfair to the channel, because a lot of success of it is not seen, which I'm a strong advocate of. That I feel like, especially with influencer marketing, it does get lost a lot. You don't see what is working the best and what is not, because आपका बहुत सारा chunk ना organic में जाता है. So there is honestly nothing that मैं बैठ के strategy बनाता हूँ कि ये ही चलेगा या ये नहीं चलेगा. I feel the only thing that one needs to do is keep reinventing in these two things which I mentioned, right? In your content and in your types of people that you're doing it with. Once you solve for the right distribution and you push out good quality content, like I told you, do not chase virality or do not chase metrics, chase value. The other things are byproducts of it. So if I know that the campaign that I'm doing is genuinely good, creates good value for the user, it might be a big flop in terms of numbers, but it will still create a certain intangible value which will attach to your brand, which will pay off someday. I remember, I think long form content was something that you also work with, I also work with. Someone, like, it's a very popular quote that short form content gives you results maybe first 2-3 months. Long form content gives you results after you're fired. So,
I agree 100%.
So I'm saying that I think to box it in a way that this works, this doesn't work, especially in a marketing industry where so much content is being consumed by so many people every single day, is sort of unfair. I feel what we could probably do is evaluate how we calculate impact. Look at how our brand lift is happening versus just looking at how our campaign is doing. So yeah, I think the only strategy, the only objective that you need to have is to create something valuable, create something shareable, create something that if you are your target audience, how will you react to that video? If you're like, oh, this is a marketing video, then don't do it. But if you look at it and you're like, okay, I know this is a marketing video, but it's a good video, let me just show it to my friend. Or let me just try it out. Let me just go to the website at least. After that, it is the website's job to maybe take that, convert it, and then there is your mid funnel. But I'm saying that at least you're able to create that curiosity or that attention within the user. That should be enough, right? So honestly, I don't think there is one way to look at it, or if there is, I don't think I have cracked it yet, because half of the things that I do may not work. 10% of them do, 80% of them don't. At most times. So I think the only objective needs to just push out good content, good value, and treating your user with respect and saying that, okay, I need to create this for this person, and I know that this person will share it ahead, this person will watch it till the end, or this person might just consume it. And either your content needs to entertain, or your content needs to give knowledge, like impart some knowledge, or your content needs to be relatable. Only then is when your content is hitting the right notes. Campaign metrics को मैं वैसे नहीं देखता हूँ कि मैं कुछ अलग कर रहा हूँ या वो कुछ अलग कर रहा है. I just look at it from a sense of कि okay, this one did not work, let's do this. I think maybe what one needs to have is a certain quick tat to revise things very fast. If I see that okay, something is मेरे को नहीं चल रहा है, I'm not saying numbers, I'm seeing that okay, people are not interacting, or people are just commenting random things, or people impressions ही नहीं है, algorithm is not pushing, then there must be some reason. So then I was like, okay, fine, let me just circle back and let me just do this. ये hook नहीं, ये hook करते. So I think if you crack that, if you're able to reinvent yourself every single day, then you should be able to do a good job, because there's no good or bad. There's so much input that goes in every single day with everybody who's working, and you just have to keep going and push out good stuff.
Makes sense.
So I think, as I was mentioning in one of my previous answers, AI in marketing is something that one needs to inculcate in, and it's something that I tried working on and tried building an automated dashboard which can help us sort of, not in terms of content or not in terms of judgment, but in terms of your repeatable workflow. So what I notice across my career is that a lot of our marketing decisions are very reactive. While we have dashboards, we have sheets, we have everything. We are also very instinctive that ये चलेगा, ये नहीं चलेगा, ये नहीं चला तो इसको activate कर देते हैं. What I felt was there needed a system which sort of helps us automate this in a way across different marketing channels. And with the advent of AI, I think it was very much possible for me to work on it. So if I speak about influencer marketing, the first one is discovery of creators, right? पहले आप क्या करते थे? You used to sit, you used to look at YouTube, you used to look at Instagram. You still need to do that. But I feel a large part of it, when you train it with the right skills, with the right tools, there's a tool which I mentioned about Appify. Marry that with your Claude API and help that in sort of scoring influencers basis on 11 engagement rates. Engagement rate, it could be relevance of profile, kind of comments, kind of content. Do all of that and give me a list of 10 people that I need to reach out to. Why should I reach out to? What is their recent content about? Why should they be our priority? That was a large part which I managed to automate. The second part is what's trending. So बहुत बार क्या होता है ना, even though we call ourselves marketing people, we don't understand कि दुनिया में क्या चल रहा है about that topic. What are people talking about? And I'm not saying news, वो तो पता होती है, but कोई एक Reddit thread पे कोई क्या बोल रहा है जिस पे सब 1000 likes आए, we will not know. So I built this thing which collects all the trending topics across the internet. जो आपके brand के बारे में बात हो रही है, it pulls data from Google News API, Google Trends, Reddit, SERP API, and it gives you a structured list कि भाई ये topics है which is being spoken about the most. Why don't you base your content on some of this and see how it works? The third one is performance marketing. We look at what our competitors are doing. That is something that all teams do. That okay, अगर मेरा company X है, I will see कि Y क्या run कर रहा है, so that I get some insights. Okay, but a lot of times there are some factors that we maybe miss out on. If there's one creative that they're running 10 times, बार बार, and there's one creative they've run 2 or 3 times, हम शायद दोनों देखेंगे, हम दोनों लगा देंगे. But maybe the first one is working very well for them, that either the creative or the copy. So how do we pull that level of intel and understand what is working out, what is not working out for our competitors, so that we inculcate those things? Because if we are catering to the same user segment, we should be able to understand that what language is resonating with them. So that is something that helps for performance marketing. The other thing is dashboard. So N8N automates your entire workflow in a certain way, and then every single content piece that goes live, you need to put it out there, and it's transcribed via Whisper API. Any language, वो मलयालम में है, वो English में है, वो Spanish में है, the video is transcribed. The video is then again sent to your Claude APIs, and it ranks that content piece. And जो आपका वीडियो लाइव जाने के बाद जो परफॉर्मेंस होता है, जो आपको आपके इंटरनल जो भी आपका कंपनी जहाँ से पुल करता है, वो यूज़ होता है. सो जस्ट गेटिंग देम टुगेदर सो दैट यू नो कि ये जब कंटेंट लाइव गया था तब मेरे को इतना परचेजेस आया था, या जो आया था, सेल्स आया था, वॉल्यूम आया था. इट वॉज बिकॉज ऑफ दिस कॉन्टेंट, इट वॉज बिकॉज ऑफ दिस क्रिएटर, दिस इज वॉट दे डिड. तो दिस इट्स नॉट समथिंग न्यू, ये सब हम पहले भी करते थे, बट इट्स जस्ट दैट इट्स बिकम लॉट मोर सिंपलर. On one single sheet, on one single dashboard, every single thing keeps running in the back end, and that is something that I built. Another thing is a live sort of AI assistant who lives with you on your system. You just send it a message that how did this one do? It gives you entire insights, not just in terms of performance, but it also gives you why. It pulls the same data that's pulled from the sheets, that जो transcriptions वहाँ पे जा रही थी videos की, तो it tells you okay, it's because of ये hook आपने यूज किया था तो ये चला था, तो next time आप ये मत करना. So I feel getting into that level of intricacy is very important, and that's only been possible because of AI. So I think I built these tools over the last say 6 months to sort of automate my workflows, so that my bandwidth goes more into strategy, ideation, content, and not on analysis, and not on like things which I need to be spending an hour on and calculating things. So that part I feel I have offloaded to AI. Yeah, so that's essentially the framework that I managed to build, and I feel it's helping a lot in terms of decision making, in terms of understanding what works, what doesn't work, because आपके पास हर चीज़ का एक structured answer होता है कि ये इसलिए चला था, it's telling me क्यों चला था, ये line इसने बोली थी इस second पे, तो वो चला था. And because there are so many tools, all you need to do is just put them all together and create something magical, and that happens.
Interesting stuff, like using AI in the right way, like not using AI for just chat GPT or Claude perspective just to have a chat, but using the right structure and making it useful. That's a great way to take the real benefit of AI. Ryan, that's my favorite question and this is my favorite topic right now, because as much as we are getting into AI, the whole industry is getting commoditized. Okay, we are building product is getting so much of commoditized, but building distribution is getting so much of hard. Okay, and somebody who is building the distribution is gonna win the market. That's my personal opinion. Now, in the building the distribution, what is happening? If let's say I'm a company, I can run ads. Okay, and I can run ads, or I can do influencer marketing or do whatever. Okay, but that's the same option hundred or thousands of brands are having, and in the future more brands will have. Now what will happen with this thing? The CPM will increase. On the performance marketing, the CPM will increase. On the influencer marketing, the charges of creator will increase because they have the more options. Now, there is a one thin line where I think the brand can win. It's not renting the audience, but building the audience, building their own distribution. Okay, so the brand which is building their own distribution, let's say on YouTube. I'm very big on YouTube. Let's say somebody who is building their distribution on long form videos on YouTube and building the real trust of the audience is gonna win the next 3 years. I mean, they're gonna win after the next 3 years because they are holding the trust. Okay, and people are mostly spending their time on these type of platforms. Is gonna win the whole industry. He's gonna narrate the industry. If they are saying something about that industry, that should be followed in that industry, and that happens. Like we have seen Mr. Beast, how he have whole changed the whole chocolate industry in US, which is very very hard for any other like companies to crack. So what's your take on building your own audience, building your own community, building your own culture, and how's gonna look like if you are starting from now? How's gonna it change your journey in the next 3 to 5 years?
I completely agree. I think building an audience is an absolute need. Now, what is renting an audience? Renting an audience is a campaign which runs for 30 days, or you retargeting some ads which runs for like a couple of days. It's again a push versus pull effect. Renting an audience is when you're pulling audience to yourself and you are showing them that, hey, this is what I have done. See, which works. And I think in interest of time, it has to work because we have consistent things going on across different channels, everything. But buying an audience is a long tail game, right? And it's very important for you to do that. The examples that we spoke about, Spotify Wrapped.
Yeah.
They've bought the audience. They're not renting the audience. If you look at Zerodha, group of super passionate traders, they've bought that audience. And I think what matters in the end is, of course, getting that audience with you without you having to push for it, without you having to pay for it. The audience or the users come to your YouTube channel automatically. They share it with their friends automatically. You are not asking them to do anything. And that, I feel, for any brand in the world, that needs to be the final realm of like, okay, this is what we need to achieve. This is what the brand needs to achieve.
Yeah.
And that is something that I feel I completely agree with you, in fact. That is going to be, I don't think it's the future, it is the present as well, that your audience needs to sort of be your product advocates, product evangelists, trust markers, all of that combined, because whatever you're spending to rent that audience for a particular period of time, you know, is not going to last you after a certain time frame. It gives you an uptick and then it's done. But you consistently pay money to push it, right? Versus you creating a brand, creating a product, creating something which the audience loves, keep coming back to, is something which needs to be, I think, the North Star for everything. So I completely agree with what you're saying, is that buying an audience versus renting an audience, I think it's a very beautiful way that you put it. Having the audience for life is something that every brand needs to chase. You succeed or you don't is a different ball game altogether. But I feel creating that kind of value which the users do not forget and users use it passionately, share it passionately, is something that everybody needs to do. So yeah.
Can you give an example like what they should do?
As I mentioned, right, especially when it comes to buying an audience, how do you buy an audience?
Paying performance?
No.
Or
That is renting the performance.
yeah,
renting the
that's
audience, right?
yeah, renting.
How do you buy is you buy trust.
Yeah.
You buy user trust. And trust is the heading. Now you have so many things that are trust markers, right? It could be creating very good, knowledgeable content on YouTube. It could be creating the best tight-knit community ever, like a Zerodha is doing. It could be having product features so shareable that the audience keeps coming back to you, like a Spotify. So I'm saying that these are things that after a point, these are things you have. The brand is not spending extra money to get these things, right? So that is how you need to maybe look at buying audiences. I'm not saying renting audiences is bad.
Yeah.
It needs to keep your engine going because there's something which is a long tail game and there's something which gives you results. So for you to show those results, for you to show those uptakes, those rents are very important, which ultimately have you taking that audience. So even when you're creating the renting audience segment, it could be your performance ads, it could be your influencer content, it could be your UGC content. How do you make your content look, appear so good? How do you marry it with the product, which is so shareable, wherein you don't have to nudge the users to do an action, the users do it by virtue. So I feel it's a component of buying. So you start with renting, but you create such high value content pieces or high value products that ultimately the audience loyalty is with you. So I think that's the way to look at it.
Makes sense. Rayyan, all of your articles, all of your podcast, all of your interviews and whatever you have till now is get erased from the internet and all you have the next 60 seconds to left something for this world. What it could be.
So ironically, this is my first podcast sort of thing that I'm doing. So I don't know, I don't think I have much of an internet footprint that I would be scared of it to lose. But something that I would want to tell anyone, it could be someone who's starting out or someone who's doing something or someone who thinks I can do better. And anyone who's watching this video, I feel that just do not overthink on outcomes. Make the right strategies, make the right plans, but your input needs to be extremely, extremely good, of the best quality, and then things which come as outputs, it could be virality, it could be revenue, all of that are byproducts of it. So do not focus on these things as metrics to chase. Look at things that for you to achieve this, what should your input look like, and just do that with utmost sincerity. Hard work, I think there's no replacement for it, as much as we speak about different kinds of stuff. But just working hard and doing different things, newer things every single day, and doing a decent job at what you are asked for, and just, I don't know, I'm not much of a motivational speaker, but just keep going and don't take yourself too seriously. When I was also speaking about my journey from the beginning, I think one of the things that one can only do is just to take yourself very casually. You are a person who's doing a certain set of actions with a certain expectation of something to come back. It may or it may not. All you need to have in your head is, how do I keep moving? And I think that's the only read that I would want to give. No matter you have a certain background, you have a certain pedigree, you have a certain experience. I was pushed into things where I did not know a single thing. When I got into influencer marketing, I did not even know what influencer marketing is. But you learn, right? So just have the right attitude towards work and do not worry about outcomes the most. So my father tells me this one quote which I live by: if it is to be, it is up to me, right? And I think anything that has to happen, you need to have the willpower, you need to have the rigor to do it. And if I have to speak of books, right, there are two books which I really love. I'm not much of a reader, but the first one is Quantum Marketing. It's by the CMO of MasterCard. It's called, he's called Raja Rajamannar. It's a beautiful book for you to understand what marketing functions. The second is my sister's book. She's an author. It's called Are You a Small Potato? Besides the fact that I'm of course very proud of her, but when I read the book, I think it gave me so much clarity on how do you structure your thoughts, your career, your finances, your relationships, everything in general. So I think just read well, do well, and keep doing a good job, keep doing a bad job, whatever, but just keep going. Do not stop. And that I think should be my final statement for the day.
Great. I mean, really nice to have the conversation with you, Rayyan. Like, really loved it. I think the whole marketing industry and the whole people who are watching it, the young people, the young founders out there who are watching it, really get the value out of it, and hope to see you again.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Ansh. It was a delight to speak to you. I hope I made sense, and I hope to see you again very, very soon.
For sure, for sure.